Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end of February. As a matter of fact, this is the very last day of February. February
year.
29th this year.
Leap year.
Leap year.
How often does it come around?
This
Arch?
means every 4 years.
4 years.
Every 4 years.
Okay.
To
That's what I
reset
thought.
the solar calendar. And this means tomorrow is March 1st, which has already put Michael in a Iberian mood. He's got St. Patrick's Day on his mind, otherwise known in Boston as Evacuation Day.
Ah,
But most importantly, tomorrow is Primary Day in Massachusetts and the rest of the Super Tuesday states. All polling indicates it's going to be a humiliating embarrassment for the state of Massachusetts as those strange creatures known as Republicans here flood to the polls to vote for Donald Trump.
oh,
In any case, I hope that the people of Brookline will find their way to a poll, express their opinion between
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie.
He could be at our polls
You want to
tomorrow.
write in Chris Christie? Is this what
Yeah.
it is?
that's
Chris
what it's
Christie.
come down to?
Chris Christie got so lonely so fast after withdrawing that within 2 weeks he's out there endorsing Donald Trump.
The next president of the United States.
Inexplicable, except that he couldn't stand not being on the news.
Well, okay. That's
We're
what
talking Trump. You should play Dixie.
what was
After
this?
all, Trump is a big supporter of the United Knights of the Ku Klux
The
Klan.
KKK.
Yeah,
Oh, my
says
goodness.
he's either a big supporter or he claims he doesn't know anything about them. So what do you want?
Well, they-
Ignorance or
He wants
or
to-
racism?
He wants to build. he wants to build
The whole
another
thing's
hotel
painful.
down there. That's all. Nothing wrong.
He wants to
with
build a hotel,
Yeah.
and he wants to import Polish workers to
There
build
you
it,
are.
right?
Oh my
So be set. I thought it was very funny when Marco Rubio says, "Well,
Hillary,
if he-
Hillary.
if he builds the wall, it'll be with illegal foreign workers, because that's the way he built most of the things he's built."
that. He's,
He has a
nothing to say to
huge.
that.
sue you for defamation for what
He
you
has
just
a.
said.
Well, he now wants to change the law to make the media easier to sue, which will tell you how narrow-minded his focus is. Actually, my nephew called me from Berlin today, and he said, "Why does this guy want to run for president, and what does he think that he can do?" And I said, "No one on earth has any idea what he thinks he can do, but why is the easiest question in the world. He is a world-class, possibly top 10 world-class megalomaniac. And that's why he wants to run for president.
Just because he can.
Because somebody told him, it's the most powerful man in the world. Oh, me? I want to be that.
Well, he's a billionaire.
It just
He's
takes
selling-
money. That's his belief, is
He's a
that
billionaire,
all it takes
right?
is money.
He says he's got enough money to run for president.
I can name at least, off the top of my head, 5 people with more money than him who actually have brains.
Yeah, but they're not running for president.
That I just said that.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Anyway, last night was the Oscars show. I don't know if people watched it or didn't.
I watched
It
a good
interestingly,
I didn't, so that I come here for my news, guys. Fill me
well,
in.
interestingly enough, it turns out to have had the smallest audience in the last 5 years
Yeah.
for the Oscar
Okay.
show, the Academy Award show. It was full of surprises. They gave 6 or 7 awards to a B movie called Mad Max that I doubt anyone around here went to see.
I saw it.
I saw
did
it.
you really?
I saw
It
it.
was-
I
it was
sat
a-
through different parts of it,
it was
3
an
or 4
intense
times
movie.
I've seen it. And it gets worse each time.
Different
I
parts of
watch-
it. Why is it already on television?
Yeah. It's on
Oh,
television.
okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
But the
After 12.
the best picture of the year was a big surprise. It was Spotlight.
Spotlight.
About the Globe Spotlight team and the church sex abuse scandal
Wow.
thing, and that was a big surprise. Leonardo DiCaprio actually won an Oscar finally on his 6th nomination,
Excellent. It was time.
which it was time because
was
Leo
time.
really is one of the best
He's
actors we
incredible.
have.
He is a good actor.
He really is.
And
You've seen him in a lot of good movies.
but the internet, which can take nothing at face value apparently, has made a big deal about the fact that Leo gave America the finger while accepting his award
That's
because
ridiculous.
because he was holding both his Oscar and the thing that the envelope the Oscar came in.
Yeah.
He was holding both of them in one hand like this.
Yeah.
And so they said, "Oh,
He's
he's
giving
secretly
America the
he's
finger."
secretly giving
Yeah.
America the finger."
Oh my goodness.
It reminded me of Sister Mary Ignatius, my high school math teacher, who would hold the chalk between her thumb and first finger and then pointed everything on the board like this, you know. And I think Sister Mary Ignatius was just as intentionally giving the class the finger as Leo DiCaprio was giving the public.
Well, I like the
Yeah,
part
makes
about
no sense.
the Girl Scouts. I thought that was beautiful. At the
That
end
was
of
a
it.
really
That
good
was-
part.
That was fun.
Chris Rock brought his daughter and a bunch of her friends out to sell Girl Scout
I
cookies
thought
in the
that
audience.
was keen. I really
It's
liked that.
hysterical. And considering the audience is starving, that
The
was a
audience was
perfect,
starving. Well, the funny thing is, he made a lot of jokes
Contribution.
about how they were all rich and they were all billionaires. And he said to Leo, "You made 30 million, buy some cookies."
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is,
They don't walk up there with a lot of money.
do you put on your fancy tuxedo and your gown and then actually put money in your pocket to go there? Although there were a lot, he must have prompted some people because there were a lot of people waving bills in the air
Yeah,
and,
they were.
and stuff.
and they might take credit cards too.
The Girl Scouts going in
Yeah,
the aisles taking
exactly.
credit cards.
I don't
The
know,
cube, they all got the
Yeah,
cube on their phone.
Exactly. You don't know. They should. If
Well,
they don't.
And then we turned to something that wasn't on the Oscars.
Yes.
Casinos.
Really? Casinos? How did we get here?
Casinos.
I thought they were dead.
Casinos.
I thought casinos were dead.
Can you believe he brought
No,
up
I can't
casinos?
believe
Mayor
Okay, yes.
Catatoni.
Casinos. Okay,
Yeah.
my pet peeve
Really?
is that slot parlor keeps calling itself a casino and getting away with it. Your pet peeve is now
And they stopped building the Everett one.
they've
Really?
they've put the kibosh for a while on the Everett one on
Because of the mayor of
who-
New Jersey, of
who was Revere.
Somerville.
Revere filed the thing.
No, it was Somerville. Somerville filed.
Oh, is it Somerville?
Yeah.
Apparently, the mayor of Somerville is an opponent of casinos entirely. Maybe we should have him as a guest on our show.
Well, he ain't,
enjoy that.
he ain't getting any money from us, though. No matter what they settle for, I don't know.
No.
Anyway, so that's interesting. I mean, first the developer asked for a year's delay, and now they've put the kibosh on the environmental
Wynn
impact
says
statement.
4,000 workers that were going to be working on this huge area. That 1.6 billion he's spending. Okay.
But no
They're-
time soon.
He sent, he sent them packing, and then all the people that he was going to train about 1,200 people to take jobs there. They were sent home.
Wow.
So this mayor is, he's hurting a lot of people. I think. He'll get some money from Wynn ultimately.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's
That's what the whole point
rescuing
is.
a lot of people from the
He's
casino.
rescuing.
Oh,
Who
no.
knows?
Well, they had today. They had a hearing on the application from Brockton.
Well, in all the time, probably for the Wampanoag Casino.
No, Walker. They don't need any help. They don't need any help from the gaming commission.
Well, then there's not another. Then there's not another casino to give.
yes, they're counting so far. This is the third one. They're counting Brockton as the third one, not the one you are counting down there in near Rhode
Oh,
Island.
so they've already accepted that there'll be 4?
That one is not. You said yourself. It's not a real casino.
No. The Wampanoag Casino will be number 4 then.
Well, we don't know. Whenever that happens,
Well,
it
the
happens.
Wampanoag Casino is a lot surer than any of the 3 others at the moment.
Probably.
It's a,
Are you satisfied?
No.
Are you satisfied with your casino question?
Well, I want to see the Indians get some money. I'd like that.
okay.
Native
Excuse me,
Americans.
the Native
Thank you.
Americans.
Well, here's the funny thing about that. There was a thing on the other day, and somebody made a reference to Indians, and then they clarified. They said, the real Indians. in India.
Those are not
And it
Indians.
suddenly occurred to me, they're no more Indians than the Indians here. They were just another European
Yep.
um,
Did we have this
imperialist
conversation?
who decided to call them. Did we?
Yes, I think we did
oh, okay.
actually. I
We
think
said
we
it.
actually
We
on
talked- we
air. I
talked
think
about
we were
that.
actually.
Okay.
This was an important
So,
conversation.
sorry for repeating myself.
Well, anyway,
Really,
what about
it's
Brockton?
important.
Will they get a? Do you think Brockton can get one?
No.
There you have it. Done. Moving on. Moving
Wait
on
a
from
minute.
casinos. No, no.
They have this great big park there. That,
Asked and answered. You asked, do I think they can get
yeah,
one?
but
I
I'm saying
answered, no.
they have everything. They have the money and they have the location. They're all.
So no.
If that
Yes.
was the criteria, there'd be 42 casinos in the state.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
I think Brockton has a shot.
Okay. All right. So moving on from casinos.
Okay.
Wouldn't
What's
it be
on your
funny?
list?
Wouldn't it be funny if they ended up opening the first casino? The way things go, you know, it's a funny thing. Oh, I have a piece of mixed news. It sounds on the surface
Mixed
like good
news.
news for most people. Would probably be taken as good news. In the fair month of April, I think on the 10th of the fair month of April, the cost of a first-class stamp will go down.
All right.
Now, the funny thing is, for recent years, we've all been buying happily forever stamps on the theory that the stamps will still be good when the price goes up. What's going to be the reaction of the guy who bought, 700 forever
1,000,
stamps and now the price went down?
It'll eventually go back
But
up again.
yes,
That's
just
what he
hold
can
on to
count
those. Hold on to
Exactly.
those. Buy more.
Yep.
Buy low.
By now, exactly.
But this is part of a deal that they made with Congress, the kind of ridiculous deals they make with Congress. 10 years ago, when they wanted to raise it 3 cents, they made a deal that it would drop back down by 2 cents in 10 years. The only problem with that is it's not really going to make that much difference to most people. The reason the post office is in trouble is particularly first-class stamps because of the almost total disappearance of people writing letters to each other.
I write letters. I still
All
write
right.
letters.
I send thank you
Yeah.
cards. I like sending thank you
Tom
cards.
Terrific.
You're terrific.
Tom Terrific.
Oh,
Who's
Tom Terrific.
That's Tom Brady.
You write letters to Tom Brady?
Yeah, I sent him a letter telling me he's great. He's terrific.
How nice of you.
Do you
How
send
nice
him
of
a
you.
picture of
But,
yourself?
but
On
he,
flowery
he, signed,
stationery?
he signed a contract today for an
So,
extension.
so I heard.
Yeah.
For basically the rest of his active career,
I hope so.
in theory. In any
That
case,
makes sense.
the problem is the post office is going to lose $2 billion.
They'll
from
figure
this
out
thing.
a way not to lose
There's
it.
no way to get around email.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
I mean,
Can we,
we
tax?
used to write postcards and mail them to
can
people.
we tax email?
That's now
Wait a
now
minute.
tweet.
Can we
Yes.
can we tax email?
Unfortunately, no.
If we can figure out a way.
I'm sure somewhere in the future.
What about this crazy
Wait a second. What do you say, Bernie? Can we tax email?
Bernie? Yeah, Bernie would like that. What about this thing with they want? There's an encryption on that phone
Yes.
that the FBI wants to get at. They want
Right.
to get that information off the San Bernardino.
And Apple's going to fight him to the Supreme Court
That's what we're hearing.
on it.
Well, what do you say?
I'm torn on that. I don't know enough about it in order. It's one of those situations I don't know enough about to give an opinion. I think that there's an argument to be made on both sides. It'll be interesting to see what the Supreme Court decides.
Well, the thing is, we have created a
We
situation
got
in
a
the country.
divided Supreme Court now.
Yes,
Okay,
makes
go
it even
on.
more interesting.
We've created a situation. Wouldn't it be fun if it came down? It was a tie vote, and
Yeah.
nothing could be done.
That's going to be awful.
Thank you, Mitch McConnell. Yes. In any case, here's the problem. We've created an economy now, a culture in which the phone is the center of everything. People are paying with their phone, not carrying credit cards. People are doing all these things with their phones. They're keeping all their information in their phones.
I'm not.
I know. I'm not either. But
Are
they're
you?
she is.
To some degree, yes.
you know, and
that happens.
they've got more information in their phone than they know about because their phone is tracking where they go, how long they stay there, what they do, when they're awake, when they're asleep, and everything else, and is secretly sending this information off to corporate America. I mean, you don't need to
Sounds
worry
about
about
right.
the government spying on you. Corporate America is doing a very good job of it. Now, the thing, wait a second, you brought this up. Don't wave
Yes.
that thing at me.
Playtime. I'm finished. Go ahead.
The thing is, if the FBI wins, that culture is dead.
Good.
The smartphone is gone.
That's what
Now,
they
there's an
say.
awful lot of people who think they can't live without their smartphone, but everything in your smartphone, if the FBI wins this, everything in your smartphone becomes public domain,
Well, then
open
there's your
to
problem.
everybody in the world. It's just as simple as that.
Want to fight the enemy? We have to take special steps. That's it.
Right, which means giving your credit card number to everybody in America,
Everybody
whether
in-
you know them
everybody
or
in
not.
America.
And hoping they don't
Ladies
use it.
and gentlemen, that is now time for the
I'm a patriot.
Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this evening, which once again has been culled after careful review from the vast archive in the vault.
In the vault. In the vault.
This one comes from the eminent year 2009. So some of the references will not stump your 10-year-olds. And it is entitled Pointless.
That gives it all away.
I've been told that many of our plays are entitled Pointless, but this one is actually entitled Pointless.
But most of the people that tune in to watch our shows, they say I wasn't doing anything special. It was kind of pointless for me to sign up. You know. Okay.
You always argue with everybody.
Yes. So what?
It's a free country.
People say dumb things to me.
Yeah, and who says you're a genius?
Well, he's not exactly stupid.
They just think they're smart.
Last week you were yelling about the Green Revolution
Hybrids are too expensive,
You want better gas mileage.
and a cleaner environment.
so I got to pay the price.
You will get a small break on next year's taxes.
Some inducement, that is.
Look, solar panels on your roof are a good deal.
It's the trickle-down theory, right?
Now what?
Forward.
Look, you have to spend big bucks to get a big return.
Guys are still buying big, cheaper SUVs.
Sure, OPEC says buy now, pay later.
It's going to cost you less in the long run.
Probably in 10 years, and those guys are taking all the trips
True, cruises to islands.
and flying to places I've never been, like India and China.
And leaving you choking on their CO2.
But they don't care.
Anyway, you're too sensitive,
Right, Mike, you take everything personally.
So I'm envious.
but not broke.
And you read too much.
Soon the papers will all be gone.
You're full of information.
Thank you.
Will you stop quoting TV anchor persons?
All that endless repetition.
It's like brainwashing.
So they're programming me.
Yes, you get mad and explode.
Right, so just shut up and listen.
Why?
For another point of view.
Yeah, we're not just automated message machines.
Different folks, different strokes.
Yeah, give me a break.
I am a little opinionated, I guess.
It's called information overload.
But it's
It's valuable. It's true.
he doesn't really get it, you know.
Maybe he needs to be recycled.
Yeah, you're tossing me on the trash heap?
And it's that or Afghanistan.
I could pick poppies
Or you could make a killing cornering the sand market.
right, to make cement for rebuilding.
Taliban's terrorists live in the mountains.
And we bomb training camps in Pakistan as well.
Yeah, but rebuilding the mountains, that's a big job.
I think he's loony.
You were for the surge, though.
Me and Petraeus, and now McChrystal.
That was then.
Now President Obama says we're out of Iraq in the summer of 2010.
And then we leave for Afghanistan?
I feel so bad for all those GIs.
Stop dithering.
Have they cleaned up the Walter Reed Hospital?
Oh, you mean the rats, the roaches, and the peeling paint?
Move to another building,
Wait
I
a minute.
think.
Oh, the commandant's gone too. Go ahead.
Move to another building, I think.
But the President Obama went to Dover last week for the returning dead.
Well, I don't know. Wolf Blitzer didn't say a thing about it on CNN.
Are you still having stomach cramps at night?
No, I spilled hot coffee on myself.
Perfect.
That's thanks much.
See, Dr. Klunkheit.
He'll prescribe a weekend in Chelsea.
With meals?
And seeing the sunset from under the Mystic River Bridge.
With lights on?
No, that's the wrong bridge.
I sort of like Rush Limbaugh.
You liked Alberto Gonzalez,
Nice smile.
Wrote good stuff on torture, I believe.
a regular humanitarian.
Is waterboarding stressful?
It may be better than recycling.
Speaker Pelosi was meeting with the CIA.
She was very busy that week, says Mo Dowd.
Now it's the public opinion.
Who isn't bipartisan these days?
Sure, just say no.
I'm confused.
Well, the CIA took notes.
There's a bunch of non sequiturs.
I'm not one.
I told you he was weak upstairs.
Just because he has a master's.
Actually, sir, it was a PhD.
And he contributed to a PAC, too.
Where's all this leading?
He's got a big cat.
I know, and he also feeds the wild birds.
Does the cat help?
One mouthful of feathers at a time.
Swell, but is summer ever coming?
It's gone, baby, gone.
My plants aren't doing well outside.
I see. You try to stay in touch?
They say it's the cool nights.
President Ahmadinejad of Iran would respond properly.
I'm cold, too.
Turn off the AC. It's time for heat.
Nobody likes to sweat, but that was then.
Even Chairman Steele of the Republican National Committee.
Not much fun for Governor Romney in that
Wait a
pizza
minute,
parlor.
wait a minute. That guy.
He didn't finish his
Steele
line.
Oh,
knows.
well, you know, it would have to
not-
actually be written on my paper.
Yes, it would help if it was,
Wouldn't it?
right?
Wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
That's
but,
Joe.
but continue. Go ahead.
Just
Go
for
ahead.
fun, shall we back up and do it the way
Yes.
it was rewritten?
All right, go for it.
Even at the top, even Chairman Steele of the Republican National Committee,
Finish your line.
he knows it's fall.
Thank you very much. Or is it winter?
Okay.
See, wasn't that worth it, folks?
It was. I thought it was
Not
great.
much fun for Governor Romney in the pizza parlor.
Not much fun for us around this table either. A trifle common.
Too much garlic in your pizza.
Now I've heard everything.
What about the millions out of work?
What can I do?
Pay your taxes.
Higher ones, undoubtedly.
We've got the best state legislators in America.
And they deserve the best pension system.
Is that like the president's economic stimulus package?
In our states, they're busy trying to balance the budget.
It's an enormously difficult project.
Well, that's because they're so occupied with thinking about laying people off.
Organizing more study committees can be exhausting.
But downsizing can be humbling.
However complex and laborious, we must act. I heard that from Governor Patrick.
Yeah. And they do.
This process is called the state's theater.
60 grand a year for decision making.
Cheaper and quicker in New Hampshire.
Does Romney still live there?
Maybe he'll move to Alaska.
It's a hedge on that one.
How's Governor Palin's family since she quit?
I don't know. It's either abstinence or absenteeism.
Beats me.
Didn't you just bid 4 no Trumps?
Nah, stud poker's my game, partner.
And a small brandy won't help a teetotaler.
Ever watch a hot dog eating contest?
No, and I hopes that I never shall.
Well, you got that right, Hoss.
Hamburgers got more style.
Do you realize that viewers all over town are changing the station right now?
We've been away 3 months, Hoss.
It's the cold weather pilgrims.
Well, I guess they'll all be putting on gloves and scarves.
Say something I can relate to.
How's your uncle?
Old and sick, sonny.
You're a fraud.
But he appeared fine when I last viewed him.
His remains, that is. That's old Zeb, 95 and still jogging.
Yeah, kicking like a Cleotex watch in a coffee cup.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I get a kick out of you.
Yeah, this is pathetic.
Must be punch drunk.
I swear I haven't touched a drop.
Words. It's only words.
Last time I looked, he was still male.
So what's your final conclusion?
Wisest thing he's ever written.
But hyperbole
Say excuse me.
Oh, go bite a tree.
and prolong its agony.
Only the Donald would know.
Blackout.
Blackout.
Right.
There we go.
There we go.
Pointless.
5 minutes.
An accurately named play.
Pointless.
One non-sequitur
Anyway,
after
anyway,
another.
we gave you a special insight into the creative process tonight, ladies and
That's right.
gentlemen. It's called. There was a slight technical glitch. Not all our scripts had the same lines in them,
That's true.
but you
And I got
noticed how
yelled at.
you noticed how slickly we covered it.
Yeah, we did cover
That
it.
was about as slick as it gets.
Slick Willie.
What do you know about factory farms and cruelty to animals?
That people shouldn't eat meat.
I think they probably go together very closely
Yes.
in most instances.
It sounds. It doesn't sound good.
No, it's
And
inspirational
that
for not eating
Sinclair Lewis wrote about this 100 years ago, over 100 years ago. These stockyards. You know.
I'm sure he did. What was the name of it?
Like what, the book?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
can't remember at the moment.
But it was a
Sinclair
terrible. I
Lewis-
read the book and it was so graphic. People didn't eat any meat for a while.
Sinclair Lewis also wrote, "When fascism comes to America, it will be wrapped in the flag and carrying a cross."
Alrighty then.
So I sort of like what Sinclair Lewis has to say. You know, the fact of the matter is, ironically, I would give a lot more consideration to cruelty to animals and, you know, the proper treatment of animals and things if it weren't for an organization called PETA.
Peter. Yeah,
Because PETA is so, to quote
you're right.
a
You're right.
a failed Republican presidential candidate, batshit crazy, that you just
Alrighty
have,
then.
have trouble appearing to agree with anything they say.
Got it.
Well,
He wasn't referring to PETA, he was referring to the Republican Party.
everybody's buying new cars, I guess, in the paper. It says no what.
Really?
Times
Everybody's
and
From where?
all over America. They expect this to be one of the biggest months coming up. This month or next month, they're selling thousands of new cars.
Well,
Not a particular brand?
I guess that's good. Why is it? Unfortunately,
Spending is up. That's
right at
always
the
good.
moment, gas prices are as low as they've been in years, which probably means that people are buying the present equivalent of Humvees, you know.
And then that fella Kelly just came back from the astronaut from space. He was out there a year.
Did he come back?
Yeah.
I thought he was about to come back. He actually
I
came
thought
back.
he came back. I don't know. Maybe he didn't come
So
back.
maybe he's in the
Maybe he
process of
read
coming back.
the headlines.
Is he the
and
husband?
politics
Is
and
he
all.
the husband or the brother-in-law
I think he's.
of the
Both.
congresswoman who was shot?
I think he's the brother-in-law. I hope.
I think it was
Yeah.
brother-in-law too. I didn't think it was.
Anyway,
actually-
her husband and her brother-in-law were both astronauts.
Yeah. That's
So,
right. They're brilliant, both of them.
We would think that perhaps going
Gabby
into space.
Gifford.
Gabby Gifford. Thank you.
Gabby Gifford.
Very
Gabby
good.
Gifford.
Very good.
Can't believe I pulled that.
Yeah, you usually
See,
pull that.
you don't come here just to get your news. You're actually Gabby Gifford. It would seem strange to me to go spend a year in space if your wife was recovering from being shot.
Yeah.
How are we for time?
I think we probably have to sing at some point.
Yeah, I think so. I think you better play.
Yep.
Okay.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, everybody, from the fun show here at Big TV.
And Kira's
The
Keep.
good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We'll be back next week, same
And the
time,
creek
same
don't
station.
rise.
Don't forget, go vote in the primary.
Vote!
Hillary.
Vote! Vote!
Vote. Vote.
That's what
Everyone's already voting for Hillary.
everybody should be voting.
Already voted for Hillary?
They should have.
Or already voting?
I wrote her in.